The following program contains violent material, strong language, and suggestive content which may not be suitable for young children. Parental discretion is advised.
So here's something I find interesting. Everyone in this sector is so convinced that everyone else is a pedophile that I feel like the question really at this point should be, why are there so many pedophiles in this sector? Has that not crossed anyone else's mind? Like, at this point, every time two people get in beef, one of them or both of them have evidence that the other one is a pedophile. Surely this should be like a warning sign. Surely this should be like a, whoa, buddy, we might have an issue in this community. We might have a problem we need to flush out, right? Like, is it just me? Or is it like, you know, either everyone is lying just to get people to hate other people, or we have a pedophile issue. Because there aren't really two ways about it, right? It's one or the other. If everyone is correct, right, and every single person who's ever made a pedophile accusation in the sector is right, that means that, like, you know, 90% of the sector are pedophiles. If people are lying, that means that, like, 90% of the sector are untrustworthy. It's one or the other. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people that are actual pedophiles. Flamenco, Empresa. You know, there are people that are actual pedophiles. America first. But I really don't believe that they are as common as everyone here seems to think they are. That's what I'm going to say, out of pure hopefulness. Because if they are as common as everyone else is saying they are, we are fucked. We are actually fucked, okay? Because here is what I'm hearing in the sector all day, every day. So me and my group of friends are all pedophiles. Brian Dunn is a pedophile. Keno Shea is a pedophile. Anyone that's friends with Keno Shea is a pedophile. Anyone that's friends with Brian Dunn is a pedophile. Joshua Moon is a pedophile. Ethan Ralph is also a pedophile. Pod Awful's a pedophile. Like, anyone that supports Pod Awful's a pedophile. Apparently, Geek is a pedophile, according to some of these people. And apparently, anyone who uses Kiwi Farms is a pedophile. But then again, anyone who uses Onion Farms is also a pedophile. So please explain to me how all of these people are pedophiles. Because as I know for sure that some of those people listed are not. In fact, a lot of them are not pedophiles. But the problem is, those groups are constantly accusing each other of being pedophiles to the point where it's like, I kind of get it. Because when one person calls your group of friends a pedophile, pedophiles, and it isn't true, the first thing you want to do is defame them back, right? Because how I see it with defamation of character is that when someone is being defamed, it almost makes anything else fair game, right? And that's the problem with sprate header. When people defame someone else, or a person defames you or someone else, the first instinct that you have is like, I'm going to try and find something that I can misconstrue on them because they're doing that to me, and it's fine when they do it to me, so can I do it back to them? And the problem with this is we have created like a information pod that is full of just complete bullshit. Like, it's full of bullshit. Like, half of these things are just a reach. Like, half of these things are such a reach. It's incredible to me. Like, how people can say this stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like, there are some pedophile accusations that are just insane to me. Like, we can dislike people without having to paint them as pedophiles. And I know I've been guilty of it, but I really don't think that this is just a me issue. I think everyone does that. And I think it's a response to defamation. But the problem with responding to defamation with defamation is that it means that no one is trustworthy for information anymore. And I think the way we get past this is we need to stop having the bar of behavior or standard for behavior so low that the only thing that we can accuse someone of that will make other people dislike them is them being a pedophile. That means the bar is really low. Do you see the issue? Do you see what I'm saying? If the bar is so low that the only thing that can convince people that someone is a disgusting person is them being a child molester, we have a problem. We have a big issue. Because here's the thing. As far as I'm aware, according to my own morals, someone just sharing revenge porn should exile them from a community. And I know people are going to hit me with the like, didn't Ralph do that? Didn't Joshua Moon did that? All the other people that I like, I'm okay with, you know, that like I don't hate, or in some cases like. I know people are gonna hit me with that, but we cannot go back in the past and change those actions. So as far as I see it, from this point onwards, it's about who still does that shit. And as far as I'm aware, people just sharing revenge porn should absolutely exile them from communities. Another one that I think should exile people is when people decide to meet up with other people or go to people's houses in the sector and invade their IRL privacy and try and fight them. What are you doing? We are not in, like... This isn't like, you know, a gang TV show. I get that it's kind of cyber gangs, but why do we need to, like, take this offline? Isn't it bad enough already? Don't we have enough issues with, like, virtual gang warfare? Do we need, like, IRL gang warfare? Like, can we be real? Another thing I think should exile people is stuff like defamation. If someone's calling someone a pedophile based off Discord screenshots, Discord logs, caps of a post on KF, or something someone else said, that is not viable information. It doesn't matter if you prove it's their account. I can lie and say that I'm friends with Elon Musk. It doesn't mean I'm friends with Elon Musk. When you realise that the majority of the people who are in these Discord screenshots were not actually being honest, they were just being, you know, they were just they were just lying for clout or to get a reaction. It changes a lot of how you view these things. Because a lot of the time, I mean, personally, I see people bring up Joshua Moon's Blockland conversations. Do you know how I read those conversations? I read them to mean that this boy was being edgy. He thought he looked real edgy saying that shit. He thought, oh my god, I am so edgy. They are going to think I'm such a tough guy and I'm so desensitized and I'm so badass. Because if you know anything about Josh, you know that he cares an awful lot about how he looks in front of people. And if I was him and I was trying to be edgy, I would probably make those weird shooting comments too, okay? And there's a lot of other shit with the Neko Shota stuff. But again, there is actually no evidence he watched that, apart from him saying it. And this is a man who has been diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder, supposedly bipolar, and a number of other things that would make him not a reliable source, right? It's like people saying, it's like when Tor Swats was saying stuff like, you know, there were all these logs that Sprayheader was posting me, like, Tor Swats said he swatted himself. Where's the proof of that? I mean, sure, there are caps that have been posted by feds of Tor Swats saying he swatted himself. Do we know if he actually swatted himself, though, or if he just said he did? Because half the time with these people, these sectoids, I see the issue is people just taking other people at their word. Why are we taking other people at their word when half of the people in this sector have been caught at one point or another lying, including myself? Like, I feel like at this point we need to have a standard where until there is like a fucking like actual police report about someone, then we just don't listen. Because if Sprateheader was really so convinced that I was a pedophile, then he would be going to the police and not to my Kiwi Farms thread. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're convinced someone is a pedophile and the only thing you can think to do is post about it on Twitter and on Kiwi Farms, you don't care about catching pedophiles. You care about the clout that catching pedophiles would bring you. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Do it, just open up your heart and let it channel through.